Okay, so hi, hello
Hello
everyone.
everyone.
Okay,
Okay.
so hi and welcome back to the Alma station with the Sandbox ACA, and I am as the representative of VGG Indonesia. My name is Angel Base, and my partner.
My name is Orpheus Kaze, or you can call me Kaze from VTGG2.
Great. So yeah, tonight we won't be alone because this is a special occasion. We will have our special guest, and we'd like to talk a lot about the Alpha Season 4 and then the perks, the rewards, and everything that we expect from this Alpha Season 4. So,
Yeah.
Arfi, should we
Let's
call our
welcome.
guest now? Yeah.
Let's call him. Let's call him Josh Wong. Are you there, sir?
Hey
Sir,
guys.
from the Sandbox team.
Hi.
Hey,
Hello.
good evening, everyone. Hello,
Good
hello.
evening, GM.
GM to everyone. Hi. Thanks for having me here tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a very special occasion, George, because we see that now Sandbox has been a very trending topic lately that we have on Twitter, and I saw that a lot of players are playing Sandbox right now. So, before we start our session tonight, could you please introduce yourself a little bit?
Hey, everyone. So, my name is George Wong. I am one of the country managers in Southeast Asia for the Sandbox. I manage a few countries in Southeast Asia, focusing on new markets where, of course, Indonesia, Philippines, Malaysia are the few countries I look after. And I also look at Southeast Asian partnerships, working with my esteemed colleagues in Southeast Asia. It's a very exciting time for us because of the Alpha Season 4. There's a lot of energy, it's very upbeat, and I think Indonesia is looking strong. A lot of players coming from Indonesia. I'm really happy to see so many Indonesian players. So you guys are in like the top one or two competing for the top spot in terms of number of players, and I'm really super excited about that. So hello to everyone, especially from Indonesia.
Jeez, that awesome.
Wow. Yeah, the numbers are strong for Indonesian players. So, guys, how do you feel about that? We have a very, very great numbers for Indonesian players playing Sandbox. So I think that's a
Mm-hmm.
great start, right, George? You see,
Mm-hmm.
our community in Indonesia, they are very interested in the Alpha Season 4. So can you please give us an overview of what the Sandbox is and its significance in the gaming and metaverse landscape? Because we know that Sandbox is like the pioneer for the metaverse itself.
Or maybe leak something.
Oh, leak something. uh, yeah, we'll see. But okay. So, for those of you who are new to the Sandbox, of course, if you're not familiar with the Sandbox, we are a Web3 metaverse. Now, those words means a lot of things, but for me personally, what the Sandbox is, it's a platform where if you love games, you want to try making games, you've never actually made games before, it is a platform where we allow people through the use of our no-code software to build games. Now, one of the interesting things about Alpha Season 4 is that I think almost half of the games are actually built by the community, or we put under UGC, or user generated content, which is a lot more than what it was in previous seasons. And I think that's a testament that this year, as we focus on helping more people to realize their dreams of building their own games, the Alpha Season 4 was also a way for us to showcase, alongside the many brands that we work with, user generated content as well. So for a lot of people, the metaverse is a virtual world that is, like a parallel world to ours, where you can play, create, and earn your work, however you want to design it or how you imagine the digital space. But for me, it's also a playground for people who are passionate about games and you want to build something, whether you want to build your own gallery, you want to build your own game, you want to build just an experience for people to understand better. That's the space that you can do it. And the Web3 component enables that, right? And I'm very happy to see that we have so many UGCs this year. And I hope to see a lot more UGCs from Indonesia as well.
All right. So, Arfi, what do you think about this one?
I think the UGC concept is awesome because it's a content generated from the users itself, right? So
Mm.
users play the game, they create content, they get money. Is that how you empower the earning mechanism is in that? True.
Yeah, so in a way, we want to allow people to, so you see many platforms. Just imagine you're like YouTube, right? So you're a content creator. You can make whatever content you want, and then from there you can monetize your content as well. And there's a few ways you can monetize it naturally. You can obviously monetize your traffic eventually, but you can also monetize all the artwork that you create, sell, and NFT. And there are also other ways that you can do. Like I think this year, this season, we introduced the NFT sensor, which allows people to buy passes to gain special access to a certain area using NFT. So all these methods are designed to provide more monetization options to allow people to design unique and creative monetization options for their own games, right? But you can also do a completely free game. So it's up to the creator and how they want to do it. Some people do it because it's passion, they want to showcase their game. Some people use the sandbox as a way to pilot, right? To kind of like test a new game idea before maybe pursuing full game development, right? Other people are monetizing directly on the sandbox. So it's up to you how you want to utilize the sandbox and the metaverse. And but I think all these different mechanisms of monetization, the tools we've created, helps people to get started, especially in Web3. Because if you've never created an NFT before, you don't know how. Through Vox Edit, you can create a design, immediately create an NFT using a catalyst, right? So that way, we make the process as simple as we can and make it available in our marketplace where you can monetize. You can control your price and you can determine the price and the money that you earn as well. So I think that part is very interesting.
Yeah, that's awesome. Too many combination, and then yeah, we can
Mm,
control our own, right? Angel, I
mm,
think we can go to the next one for the comparison. What do you think?
Okay, yeah, because I saw that Sandbox in season 4, we see
Mhm.
that there are a lot of partners coming, like the Hell's Kitchen, the one that I really like, of course. Who doesn't know
Mm.
Gordon Ramsay, right? And then
yeah,
Hellboy, and
yeah.
we also have like the Playboy one.
There's so
Yeah,
many
I bet
IP.
you saw it. Yeah, correct. And then the characters like from Love Island, Attack on Titan. I think that's very interesting. And that comparing to the season 2 and season 3, I think this one is the best. But do you have any kind of different difference between Alpha season 2, season 3, and season 4, George? Can you like describe us what can player expect in the Alpha?
Well, I think there were so many changes from the previous seasons, right? So I think one of the things that you'll see is that, firstly, is the type of games. So during Alpha Season 3, we haven't launched our, what's that called, rule system, which allows people to make more types of games, right? So the variety of games this year is a lot more compared to Alpha Season 3. So you'll be seeing different types of games, which we have. If you've been playing the few smaller seasons throughout the year, you would have experienced it. But I think for a full alpha season, this is something that I think is very exciting. There's also the whole NFT sensor. So features and functionality is definitely a lot more. Like have come leaps and bounds over the last 1 year. Since of course since the previous season, right? So we really want people to really test out all the different game modes. Not only would you testing out allows you to try the new features that we have built over the past year, but also it helps the creators or the UGC to learn about what's that called, the how to improve their games through the feedback. That's why an alpha season is actually for, right? It's an alpha season to let people test, give feedback. Some are great, some maybe needs an improvement, and getting your feedback will help to make the game better. So in terms of features, I think that's the big one that you will see. Now the other thing, of course, is the rewards. The rewards is of course big, but at the same time, it's also different. So I think the previous seasons we focus a lot on having a leaderboard, and the amount of money that or sand that you earned is actually based on a leaderboard system. Now that was the first time I think we did it was in Alpha Season 3, and we did it in Bonkers as well a couple of months back. And I think that not everyone liked the idea of the leaderboard. So this time around, we've changed it so that the rewards are fairer. There's better distribution. There's more chance of earning rewards, and at the same time, we made it so that it's the leaderboard is just there as a way for you to win alpha passes, but it doesn't limit your potential to earn and benefit from the alpha season. So the distribution of the sand tokens is a lot fairer. And the other thing that we've made interesting is that this time around, everyone would get a chance to earn an alpha season as long as you level up to say level 9. And it's going to be a bit difficult to level up compared to last time to make it more challenging because we want you to play. But if you do hit level 9, you should have enough sand for you to purchase an alpha season pass. So you don't really have to spend anything. You can earn it. Of course, if you earn an alpha season pass before you buy one, then you basically earn more. But if you don't manage to win one, it doesn't mean that you can't get an alpha season pass, right? So I think that's also the other major change that we introduced. An additional change that I think that I really like the most, of course, is besides all the features in the game, was the ability for you to claim all. So you can earn 10 rewards and then claim with one transaction all the rewards. It sounds simple, but when you're doing a blockchain transaction and you are paying like you're not paying for it, but there's gas involved, which is subsidized by the platform to a certain degree, that that's not as simple as it sounds, right? So that inclusion was something that was requested. So generally speaking, Alpha Season 4 is a result of the thousands of feedback that was the community gave us, and we released Alpha Season 4 in this current incarnation. We did take our time to develop Alpha Season 4 because we wanted to include all the feedback that we got. And it's not easy because the community gives us so much feedback. And I think it's something that I'm proud that the Sandbox tries really hard to incorporate as much of the feedback as we can to come up with Alpha Season 4. It may not be perfect because there'll definitely be some feedback that we couldn't incorporate, but to the best of our ability, we've actually incorporated as many of the feedback as possible to give you this Alpha season. Do we still have a lot to improve in the future? Yes, because we're still in Alpha. We haven't even reached Beta season yet, right? And we're still in the Alpha stage. So please play the Alpha season, but besides the rewards, also remember that it's about giving feedback. There's a bug report if you find anything, but it helps us to improve the platform. At the end of the day, what we're trying to build with the Alpha Season 4 is the best platform game experience for you. So, and yeah, I think that's the main thing. I think this season really showcases the amount of feedback that we took, and we made big changes. We could have used the same leaderboard system, but we didn't, right? We made a lot of new things. We rebuilt many things from the ground up. And we hope that you do enjoy this season and play with the many different brands that we work with. And this time, like I mentioned, a lot more UGCs compared to the last time.
Wow. That
Wow.
was a completely
I
explained,
mean,
George.
you really, yeah, you really gather a lot of feedbacks and put it in a one bucket, and then yeah, you just like boom, you're gonna do that to the community, and yeah, that's what founders do. I think I really like that.
Yeah,
Mm.
correct. That's correct. They really took seriously all of the feedback from the
Yeah,
community. Hmm. And yeah, this is also very interesting to know that all of the players also told me before they really like how the claim rewards and then the rewards instantly lend to their wallet. So yeah, it's very
Mm,
easy for them,
mm,
right? I mean, you can
mm,
claim all the rewards instantly, and then you can just probably withdraw to your
mm.
local currency. Yeah, which means that there is no use to play other games besides Sandbox. I mean,
Well, I want people to understand that
mhm.
the being able to play Battle Pass and claim it, it's not as easy as it sounds. It took a lot of
yeah,
Yeah,
of
yeah, of course.
development, right? The previous
Yeah.
seasons you had to wait for the season to end and then you kind of
Mhm,
begin.
mhm.
This was something that we did take feedback on. It's not perfect. I believe over the last couple of days, over the weekend, there are people trying to get claims, and then there was a bit of a wait time. So we are trying to improve it, but that is because of the feedback. People wanted it,
Mm,
so we made it. So you don't have to wait until the end of the season to get your set. I think that's
yeah.
pretty important that you highlighted that. Yeah, and we worked a lot on that. So we hope you like it.
Yeah, of course. Some of the players really
of course.
like it because because of the
I
rewards, it's
think
like
yeah,
instantly land.
Yeah.
Yeah, what
I
is it,
think
Audrey?
since you guys are talking about you guys like it, let's go to the
Mhm.
next topic about the
Okay,
community. I think.
sure.
What do you guys
Mm-hmm.
think? Yeah, I
Sure.
think the next part will be interesting. Community engagement. So
Mm-hmm.
I have a question. How does the
Sure.
Sandbox engage with Indonesian community to promote earning opportunity other than UGC campaign?
Mm, I think right now we predominantly work with VGG in Indonesia. So a lot of
Mhm.
the Indonesian community growth is actually thanks to VGG. And one of the things that we have been focusing a lot on was just educating in Indonesian. As you can tell, I can't speak Indonesian,
Yeah,
and that has been a bit of a challenge, although I can understand a little bit, but I don't speak it, right? So, and I think that working with the local partner who understands the language to communicate with Indonesians was very important. So one of the things that I wanted with a lot of people in the world to understand, so not only the Sandbox, but to many other Web3 companies I meet, when they ask me about Indonesia, I said the number one thing we need to do is to make sure that we communicate in the local language. And that's a big deal, right? Just being
mm,
able to work with KOLs who speak Indonesian. I really appreciate guys like you and also the KOLs you work with. You communicate with me in English, but then you make the effort to communicate with your community in your local language, translating what I say to the market, right? And I think that's very important for us. It seems small, but just because we did that, Indonesia in the last year for players have grown considerably. It's the fastest growing player market in Southeast Asia. It's the largest in Southeast Asia, and now it's also one of the largest players in the world for the sandbox. So in that sense, it's mainly down to the partners who is first communicating with them, educating them on the monetization tools that we have as well for creators. We have two very good studios. One of them is being featured in this alpha season. I encourage you to play his game. Okay, one very important thing for you to understand is that many of the UGCs who are having their game appear in Alpha Season 4 aren't actually making any money. They built the game and they want you to experience it because they are passionate about games, right? So I believe the game is Roach Uprising. I think it's a super cool game, and I think it's it's something that I feel was a very unique IP from Indonesia. So if you're Indonesian, when the game is announced, please try it, and also other Southeast Asian games as well. They are also trying to create a brand for themselves for their game, right? And ultimately monetize it as well. So your support for Southeast Asian games is really important. You know, everything from like Kusina, which is out now, which is made by the Philippine studio, and of course Roach Uprising, Everest was also made by a Singapore studio. Do look at those games, and at this current moment, they're not exactly monetizing it beyond selling, let's say, wearables and avatars. So that's their main monetization model, and we have spent a lot of time trying to educate people on that. And we also have other studios. Like Aralu Studios, who's not in this season but was in the previous season of Lion City, and a lot of education is being done. So I think moving forward, right now, first we started the base work, groundwork with VGG was to get closer to the community by just communicating more in a local language, right? And we've also have a community manager on Telegram who's done a lot of work. He's been trying his best to answer all your questions, and that was the start. But I think next year, what we are looking at is to build an educational framework. We have tested some frameworks in Singapore and soon Malaysia, and I'm hoping to start something in Indonesia as well, which will allow more people to understand how to be in Web3, learn how to build games on the sandbox and monetize it as well. And there's so many ways for monetization. I can't go through all of it right now, but that's like the next year plan. We wanted to do it this year, but there was really too much happening for this year. But big thanks to VGG and the community for being supportive and being with us throughout this year. And we'll build stronger and stronger in the coming year as well.
wow, thank you. I think that's the word you got is community is everything, right? And
Mm-hmm,
then
mm-hmm.
the founders too also supporting. Thank you for supporting V3GG, supporting us, the community. I think, yeah. What do you think, Angel?
Okay. Yeah, this is like a very interesting because George keep mentioning that in Indonesia we GG help a lot with the sandbox, yeah, the sandbox community itself. And
Mm-hmm.
tonight we have a lot of Indonesian communities coming, so I think we should
Mm.
translate this a little bit, George, to Indonesian language.
It's
Is
like,
that okay for
yeah,
you?
is it
Yes,
okay?
yes, please. Go ahead if you feel
A
like
short
you need
Okay.
to
version of
translate.
it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, let me translate the community part, Angel. You can go for the
Yep.
first one. Let me
Okay.
help you. Okay.
Yeah. You guys hear me? Because I think I'm slowing down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we can still
Yeah.
hear you. Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Mhm.
Just go ahead. Yeah.
Ya, alright. So, guys, jadi tadi dari George, beliau ini adalah country manager ya dari Indonesia, Malaysia, dan negara-negara di SEA atau Southeast Asia. Dan pada malam hari ini, beliau menyampaikan sendiri ya kalau misalnya di Alpha Season 4 ini cukup berbeda dengan Season 2 dan Season 3. Kalau sebelumnya mungkin teman-teman lebih grinding hard gitu kan di Sandbox, terus apa namanya hadiahnya atau rewardnya tuh agak lama gitu kan. Kayak kalian harus nyelesain semua quest dulu, semua misi dulu tuh buat dapetin hadiahnya. Sedangkan di sini enggak, di Alpha Season 4 kalian itu kan ada namanya Alpha Pass ya. Nah, di Alpha Pass ini itu tuh kayak semacam battle pass gitu loh, guys. Jadi kalian ketika kalian main gamenya, main questnya itu bakal dapetin namanya EP, Ethos Point. Nah, si Ethos Point ini adalah poin buat kalian naik ke level selanjutnya. Tiap level yang kalian selesaikan itu bakal langsung instant land untuk rewardnya. Jadi kalian langsung dapet gitu. Jadi apa ya namanya, kalian nggak perlu yang kayak green banget, yang penting ketika kalian udah nyelesain quest-nya, ketika kalian udah selesai dengan level dari masing-masing battle pass-nya itu, ya udah kalian dapatlah reward-nya itu. Dan reward-nya ini macam-macam. Ada NFT, ada token nya itu sendiri, terus masih banyak kayak eksklusif perks dari partner gitu loh. Dan menariknya lagi kalau misalnya kalian purchase Alpha Pass-nya itu yang harganya 35 sen, nggak terlalu mahal ya, atau sekitar $6, itu tuh kalian dapat rewardnya up to 300 sen. Itu 300 sen juga apa ya, cukup dikit ya, di atas $50. Jadi kan udah balik modal berkali-kali lipat ya. Habis itu masih ada lagi nih rewardnya. Kalian bisa ikutan travel. Jadi buat 500 pemenang itu dapat 1000 sen, token sen di akhir. Jadi di weekly leaderboard terakhir itu kalian bakal dapat chance buat ikutan travel. Nah, gimana coba kalau menurut kalian? Menarik kan? Nah, ini juga dari George sendiri tadi sempat menyebutkan kalau buat kreator-kreator ini juga chance earning-nya banyak ya, tapi buat player juga nggak kalah banyak. Karena tadi kalian bisa langsung claim reward-nya secara langsung, terus juga apa planet-planetnya tuh ada 10 ya dari
Bisa
masing
buat
planet.
konten.
Ya, itu tuh banyak gitu loh quest-questnya. Kayak kalian lihat ada karakter Attack on Titan. Siapa sih yang nggak tahu Attack on Titan ya kan? Terus Gordon Ramsay. Terus abis itu juga masih ada karakter kayak Playboy, kayak Love Island. Abis itu Hellboy. Nah, itu kan jadi apa ya menarik gitu loh. Questnya juga nggak di situ-situ aja. Jadi menurut gue pribadi ya ini worth banget sih buat kalian ketika mungkin pengen dapetin earnings yang cukup oke ya The Sandbox salah satunya gitu apalagi buat teman-teman yang into GameFi gitu ya Orpe ya. Ini
Ya.
cukup jadi salah satu chance besar buat kalian gitu. Apalagi kan community The Sandbox sudah cukup gede gitu ya di Indonesia, di Malai, di Singapura gitu, di Thailand, di Korea juga udah banyak gitu yang main Sandbox. Gitu sih. Gimana Orpe?
Nah, betul bagus sih. Nah, untuk
Hmm.
kebetulan tadi yang kedua kali kan ini talking about community ya. Jadi
Hmm.
soal komunitas ini Pak Jos ini juga sangat mengapresiasi komunitas dari Indonesia karena salah
Yeay.
satu yang paling besar, nomor satu
Yes.
atau nomor dua kalau nggak salah dibilang Pak Jos tadi. Nah, jadi one of the biggest lah supporter. Nah, beliau juga sangat berterima kasih kepada kita karena juga dengan sangat besarnya komunitas kita juga Sandbox juga bisa berjalan, feedback-feedback yang sudah ada juga digodok bersama, dikumpulkan bersama, nah jadikan satu, maka jadilah Alpha Season yang keempat ini. Itulah yang sekarang. Nah, kalau ada juga beberapa yang kayak dari kayak yang dimention Pak Jos tadi dari animator dari Malaysia, dari yang lain-lain juga ada menaruh monetize karakter mereka di Sandbox itu juga banyak. Jadi ya soal komunitas Indonesia juga salah satu yang terbaik dibantu dengan W3GG, makanya beliau juga mencari tim-tim yang bisa ngobrol bahasa Indonesia ke kalian, ke komunitas. Jadi kalian kalau bisa mau nanya, jadi kita bisa semakin dekat, bisa semakin makin tahu gitu dah. Nah, kita lanjut aja ya kali ya.
Oke, udah lengkap lah ya, udah cukup ya. BTW jangan lupa dong di kolom komentar coba say hi to Sir George.
Say hi,
Where,
George.
ya, where are my Indonesian Army nih? Ayo.
Oh, jangan
Let's
lupa
go.
tanya 3 pertanyaan terbaik ya, dapat sen 200 sen ya.
Oke, ya.
Jangan
Nanti
lupa.
giveaway-nya bisa diikuti ya guys ya untuk 3
Ya.
penanya terbaik kita kasih maksimal 200 sen. Oke, let's go to the next question, Orpe.
Yeah, okay. Next one, I think, is still regarding community engagement. I think. So my question is, the next one will be, how do you measure the success of community involvement in creating profitable experience, Sir Josh?
Well, I think the way we measure, I think, is if you look at the experiences we have a rating system and a traffic system, right? So we do have a lot of focus on that. So one of the things that we introduced before the alpha season was the Builders Challenge. So that's where you make the best game, and then based on the traffic that comes to the game, we actually gave sand rewards, and we had some really good results. I think some of the creators earned more than 40,000 sand throughout the season, which I think was a really big return for making a good game. So I think we tested that with 2 Builders Challenge already, and we are looking at next year to see whether we can introduce this a lot more to really support the community, especially to build great games. And I think, but I cannot emphasize enough the importance of players coming to support the game, right? Because when there's good traffic for a game, eventually they will find a way to monetize. It's like YouTube, right? If a content creator has 1 million followers watching their video, they eventually can monetize in sponsorship and as well as other mechanisms in place, right? That they can make money from advertising, sponsorship, and so forth. And games are the same. So if you love a creator, make sure to play it often. Give them feedback on how to make the game better. So and then give them the benefit of your traffic to play the game often, so that they can also find more ways to monetize. So it's no different than a normal content creator, right, who makes money, right? But we have extra things compared to just video. For example, one day they can make their own like virtual wearable, which they can sell it, and the community can buy it in support because it's not very expensive, and avatars as well. They can sell private access as well. So these are extra tools that will help content creators. But I think at the basic level, to help them to grow their monetization and value, is to just play their game. And the best part about the Sandbox is games are free to play, right? Unless they create a ticketed event, which we are planning to introduce. But before any ticketed events are introduced, it's still mostly free to play. If you realize in the season 4, if, like I mentioned just now, if you were to play enough, you can earn an alpha season pass, right? You don't have to buy it. Technically, you will earn enough sand to buy a pass yourself. So we've designed it that way. So I think that is really just to give you all the benefit for playing, right? So do get to learn about local studios and creators, be friends with them, and support them by playing their game. And that's why we highlighted some regional games as well that is in Southeast Asia, and we hope you play. That helps with their monetization in the long run, right? So we are building the new creator economy using games. It's actually not easy. Building a game, no matter what, is an effort, and giving them the support by playing the game is a way of supporting. That's the game version of giving a like and a subscribe, right? It's the same thing. Yeah, and also make sure to rate the games as well. That helps them in the long run.
I really like you supporting other developers too. There's one way to support the game. So either way, they don't have the engagement, they don't have the marketing, but you still do support them, the studio. I still love that. Yes, Angel.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, this is interesting because we know that in the next what is it called, like in the next development for the sandbox itself, I really want to see what the developers are really working on, just like what George said before, that he really take all the feedback from the community, and we also need to rate the game to keep supporting, keep playing, because this is a free to play game and you can still
Mhm.
earn some bucks. Yeah, it's really interesting. That's right, that's right. And before we move on to the next question, George, there has been some questions coming from our community, and
Mhm.
they're asking, will the Sandbox hold an annual event after Alpha Season 4? Because this event attracts a lot of new players to the Sandbox. Yeah, maybe you can spill a little bit.
Uh, my answer is I hope so, but I don't know. um, and the reason why is because, like we mentioned, right? So we are incorporating so many new features. I can tell you, I think like 2 years ago, the features that we probably planned to make was and now is completely different. It's so much more, right? Because of all the feedback that we got. So in a way, we have feature creep, and being and incorporating new features and making a season is quite a challenge. Which is why Alpha Season 4, we wanted to be as ready as possible before we introduce Alpha Season 4 to give people enough time to use the rule system to make the games in order to have Alpha Season 4. So imagine if we have a major upgrade. And I think our plan is still the same, right? We intend to create a new version, a grossly upgraded version every 3 to 4 months. This year we did that, right? We upgraded aggressively more features and functionalities every 3 to 4 months, which is something that's very difficult in gaming to do, right? Most game companies do not introduce major features every 3 to 4 months. It's an investment on our side. So we hope to continue that next year. And if we are able to do that and introduce a new season or maybe even the first beta season, when you see beta season, it means that we are reaching close to what we believe is the full version of the game, right? So we're still at alpha, which means that we haven't reached the level where we think it's good enough for us to call it a beta and a full release. That's why the release, if you look at the game maker, everything is still 0.11, I think, or 10. I forgot what's the latest version right now because we kept upgrading every few months. But I think that once we reach that, look forward to. I hope next year, if we do have an annual season, I hope it will be called the beta season, which means that the product is getting more mature and the features are also more mature and it'll be very exciting. So I hope, but I really don't know. At this point, I have no idea if we'll have an annual season every year. But if we can, I think we will. So let's hope next year is a good year as well.
Yeah, we all do hope that, because yeah, this is still alpha alpha season. Yeah, we still have beta,
Mm.
and then the main or the core of the game itself. Okay, so
Yeah.
Orfe, anything that you want to ask?
Since you're talking about alpha and beta, I think you guys have lots of development. Must be tiring to do all of the job inside. So I'm gonna ask you a personal question, George. Is it
Sure,
okay?
sure,
But it's just a personal
sure.
reflection. How
Yeah.
your work as a country manager in the sandbox for Indonesia? What's motivated you, and what are the challenges in there?
Okay, good question. To be honest, I feel sometimes I feel a little bad that I call myself the country manager of Indonesia because I don't think I spend enough time there, right? Because I manage so many different countries and I have to support a lot of things. I don't spend enough time in Indonesia, and I think my biggest challenge is the language. As I mentioned, I'm originally from Malaysia, so I do understand some Malay, which makes me understand Indonesian a little bit. But for me to confidently communicate with the community is a bit of a challenge. It's such a beautiful language, but I wish I learned it. I don't even speak Chinese very well. So, as a Chinese person who doesn't speak Chinese very well, I think that's also one of the challenge, right? The communication. But I think one of the things that I have to highlight was that even before, like when we started this year, I actually um, encourage the company to consider Indonesia as a market. So and it wasn't really a focus initially, but I always knew the potential of Indonesia. I every time I go to Indonesia, I find people are hungry. I find people are passionate. I find the Indonesian people wanting to make things happen. Sometimes very aggressive because you really want to do something, right? And I think that that passion is very powerful. And I knew that there was a huge market potential, but most people don't want to, you know, actually penetrate into Indonesia, right? But everyone who does benefits from it. So I think that that focus of like, let's go in, even if it's not perfect. Let's work with partners, and we are lucky that we have good partners like VGG to help us. That was something that I felt was important, and we will continue to keep growing the Indonesian player market as much as possible. You have to understand, until today, we actually haven't really signed beyond some like Shin Tae-yong, which is the football coach in Indonesia national football team. We haven't really signed any Indonesian-based IPs yet, right? But because the player market is so important, we still focus on building it, right? We still invest into the market. So that's how important this community is. And I think that, you know, it has been challenging. It's something that I hope that next year we can do better. We can work closer with our partners. I can finally learn Indonesian from Vinchka, like she offered. I, you know, but I think that, you know, and hopefully we can also put in a bit more resources, because we are in so many countries. We don't have a lot of budget to do every country because we're in so many countries. But I think I think, you know, next year would probably be better. I think this year, I think the win is that we've started building the gaming community, and I think the gaming community is coming in. It's the fastest growing that I can see in this part of the world, and I'm really excited to take that to the next level next year. Yeah.
That's really awesome. I think since you said you are from Malaysia and we are serumpun, you know.
Yeah. Yes,
You will
Sarumpun. Yeah.
know that people
Yeah. Yeah.
talk
Yeah.
back in you with bahasa at
Yeah.
least.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I understand that.
Yeah.
Sarumpun. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think
All
that will be
right.
fine. Yeah, I think you are doing a good job as a country manager since you are managing so many countries too, right? Yeah, I
Thank
think
you.
let's go to the next one, Angel.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, George, for your answer.
No problem.
Okay, so I can say that you're also facing the sleepless season, just like what usually crypto bros say. Yeah, we are facing sleepless season where we don't sleep at all. I mean, this is the bull market, and we have to do everything. Like every second, there is a different narrative, and we have to do this, do that, and we need to catch up with information. So I think you also feel the same, right, George?
It's for me, whether it's
Uh-huh.
bull or bear market, it's always sleepless season. There's
Yeah,
no,
of
Yeah.
there's no
course,
difference.
everyone choose blue.
It's,
Right?
it's the same. I think I think what a lot of people don't know is that being full time in Web3 is
Hmm.
very challenging, right?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
yeah.
just
Yeah.
looking at the game side. I'm looking at the business side. I'm looking at Web3 side, and Web3 is a market where you do need to, you know, we work in all time zones, right? Like I'm
Mm.
having an AMA now, but I'm going to have a call in Europe after this AMA. You know, we work with all time zones. So sometimes you do lose sleep, especially in Asia where we want to do everything, you know, and we want to
Mhm.
be in all time zones. So yeah, but it's the same, whether it's bull market or bear market, technically it's the same. You know, it's interesting that actually bear market was good for gaming. I know this is going to sound controversial, right? But bear market actually is not a bad thing for gaming because there's stability. So when there's stability, the price is quite flat. Brands there to come in, creators there to come in because their earnings are quite stable. When there's a bull market and there's a lot of volatility, brands are afraid to come in because they don't know how to handle that. Creators are afraid to come in because they don't want to be earning $100 today and $50 tomorrow, then the day after is 150. And in the crypto space, that happens, right? So, you know, I'm happy it's a bull market, but at the same time, sometimes bear markets is not that bad, right? Especially if you are here for the long term. So that's something I always like to point out to people. In gaming, bull or bear, sometimes it's not really a bad thing.
Yeah, yeah, I do agree about this opinion also, Orfe, because yeah, people usually they only think that we only have a bull or bear, and then when it is bear market, then nothing left to do. But in fact, we have GameFi that
Yeah,
is sustained enough, yeah, for us to still earn some money, yeah, to get rid of the board note,
at
and
least
then
for the game, they can have some fun.
yes, not just staring at your monitor lah.
Yep. Yep.
They can have some
Yep.
fun while earning. So yeah, they don't do not stress about the bear market anymore.
Mm,
I think
Mm,
yeah,
mm,
the opinion is kind of really good on that. I agree.
yeah,
I
mm.
think Angel,
okay.
we still really got two more questions right from our
Yeah.
audience.
Okay, yeah. I also have this interesting question from Calvin, Calvin NFT. So, what strategy will you use to attract old players that probably have left Sandbox? What do you think about this question, George?
Hmm. That's a good question.
Mm,
I think for players who maybe they have been with us very early and they have left, we do need to do a lot of work to convince them that we are still building. Sometimes it's a bit hard to understand the challenges of a game because a lot of people don't understand that building a triple A game or a game like the Sandbox is usually a 5, 7, sometimes even a 10-year thing. It's just that in the normal game industry that's not Web3, we don't realize that the game took that long to build, but it actually takes very long. So we do have a responsibility to engage with the past community. One of the things that we have been slowly doing was, we to be very honest, it's nothing unique or special or a strategy. We try the most human approach. We re-engage them. We have communications with them all around the world. We've been having we are slowly doing it, so we haven't done it everywhere yet, but we've been doing mini events by country, where we invite back the previous supporters of ours, and I think this is something that I have to appreciate Sebastian, our co-founder. Like when he came to Singapore, we actually organized a VIP dinner, which was made up of our past long-time supporters, landowners. We met some people we've never met, who's never joined our events before, and we allowed them to have that conversation, that honest Q&A with Sebastian, right? And he made the effort to answer as many questions as he could, to speak to as many of the people personally. And I think that right now, to get back the confidence of the people, we have to be as honest and as open and inviting as possible. And when people are not happy, we have to take their feedback, like we said, and then we try to make it better. So we're starting that approach. We've did that in various countries so far. And I hope that, and if you've never actually got the invite, sometimes because Web3, everyone's anonymous, we don't actually know who you are. For in many cases, even if you do KYC, we don't technically have your details because it's secure. Employees don't have your data, so we only have the email that's registered on the website, which we will send. So I do hope that you keep an eye out for any emails, and making sure that the email comes from an actual employee. In the token 2049, I did help to send out emails to holders in the region, to engage them, to invite them, to just say hi. This is a quick update. Most people don't reply, but maybe because they missed the email, right? Because they may not expect something from me, or it goes into spam. I'm not really sure. But also just make an effort to follow us on socials, DM us. And I'm also on socials, on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Telegram. Especially on Twitter, you can follow me at George Wong, and you can actually just DM me if you have a question or you want to join a future event. We actually have a Luma calendar, which is for Southeast Asia. That's a great place for you to also get in touch with us. If we can't reach you, we will try to reach you, but if we are not doing well, or spam or whatever, then you can also follow our Luma calendar. It's lu.ma/tsbsca. And we also have our PTX group as well. So that's ways for you to connect with us. So I hope that helps. It's not perfect because Web3 is predominantly anonymous. So that's also why it's not like we can just call you today, because we don't actually have your data. And we are close to our community members whom we can reach. And we're very happy to have a conversation. If you're a holder, if you're a long time holder, you want to talk about how you want to utilize your land a little bit better. You want some advice. You want to speak to us and ask us about what we think the future is like, collaboration. We're always open. We just need to be able to reach you, right? So help us get in touch with you as well. And then that's what we are actively doing. We're trying, being very human, coming to you because we value our community, and community is very important to us. And we hope to give you the respect you deserve.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I do also believe about this one because not all people want to be dogs in web or in crypto. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of hard for us to probably reach the exact target or the exact user. But I do believe that Sandbox has kind of initiative to invite the old players to join the mini events, or maybe next time or next year.
Mm,
We will
mm.
see a Sandbox store in Indonesia. Yeah, we don't know. Maybe there will be a huge event in Indonesia about Sandbox collaborating with VGG Indonesia. Yeah, let's see. I hope that's going to happen in the future.
I
Finger
hope so
crossed.
too. I
Finger
hope so
crossed.
too. Cross
Yeah,
your fingers. Yeah, I hope so too. Yes.
yeah. Okay. And then, oh yeah, this one also actually there are some new
There are
questions
some
coming up.
questions. Yeah, there are lots of
Yeah.
questions, but we should pick one. We should pick one only.
Yeah.
I mean, I can answer them quickly if you want. I see some
Okay.
new
Okay.
ones. You want me to?
Yeah,
Sure.
you
Which
want
one
to
will
answer
Okay,
you?
the
let's.
first one?
Okay, I'll read it and answer it. Question:
I,
Has Sandbox has no plans to enter beta, and for Alpha Season 4, will it be the last season? The answer is we definitely have plans to enter beta. We definitely have plans to launch the more seasons. It's just a question of when. Because we're also doing development, so seasons are impacted by development. We're trying to build version one, which will to go live as soon as we can. So don't worry, this is not the last season for sure. I still have a job. We're talking about next year, and we're gonna do more. Okay, just
Thank you.
when? That's a tough question. I think the next one is how do I plan to ensure sustainability of the ecosystem as the user base grows? Okay, that's important because, like I think we talked a lot about the creator economy. Actually, the whole platform is reliant on the creator economy, right? If we have more games, more traffic, more monetization occurring, more transactions happens in our marketplace, and then we benefit from transactions, which ultimately will go back to the community and also to development, right? So transactions is really, really important, and but people need a reason to buy anything, and that's because the game is good, game is fun. So we are really at that stage where we are trying to ensure that as many games as possible. That's why some people are like, why are we doing builders challenge, why are we doing game jams? And that's because we are looking at 5-10 years later, where the whole platform depends on UGCs and the creator economy. So I think that that has always been our plan, and even recently we introduced the DAO, and the DAO was to allow the community to also participate in the growth of the platform, and those are all things that were in our roadmap, and we are also sticking to our roadmap, right? And yeah, so that's really key. And we are going through some difficult years where we're focusing a lot on the content side, but I like to highlight to people, you can't have a metaverse without experiences or games. It'll be too boring, right? So that's why there's this big focus. Work with brands, work with UGCs, make sure that the platform has as many experiences as possible so that people will be happy, enjoy themselves being on the platform, and then it will grow. So that's really key to our long-term sustainability. We haven't really changed any direction. We've always been on that. It's just that right now, this is that critical period where we start to introduce content. I'm very happy to share that since we introduced self-publishing towards the end of last year, especially with the new rule functions, the rule system, we actually have more than 1,300 games published on the platform. Is it enough? No, it's very far from being enough. But I think within like a year or less than a year, to achieve that result was really our commitment to it. So now, at any point in time, if you go into the sandbox, you at least definitely have something to play. There's a bit of something for everyone, and we hope to really accelerate that. For me, I envision at least 10,000 or more. There's 166,000 plots of land on the sandbox, and we are barely touching the surface of the type of content that we can get, right? So we are going to focus on building the best engine so that the best games can appear, and working with the ecosystem to grow as big as possible, right? And I think the last one quickly that I can see here is what we do to attract more players to play the alpha and beta. Will we collaborate with streamers? The answer to that first question is yes, we already do. We work with them all across the world. It's a new initiative. We have our ambassador program. We work with KOLs. We are trying to work with streamers as well. VGG and us are working together with streamers. And is there something else you do to attract the attention of the world community, not just in SCA? To be honest, my focus is on Southeast Asia. And the reason is because I think Southeast Asia is the land of opportunity. I believe that in the next 5 to 10 years, everyone around the world will want to target and reach Southeast Asia. We are the most up and coming important community in the world. So to me, marketing Southeast Asia is marketing to the world. I was invited 2 weeks ago to Korea, and they invited us because they invited me. They flew me there for a session to do a presentation and mentoring because they wanted to understand how to target Southeast Asia. So to me, first and foremost in digital marketing, it's always global. It's never just like one country. Whatever, like we do campaigns in Southeast Asia, it's across many different countries, and we do campaigns which is global campaigns. But very important, I really want those of us who live in Southeast Asia to understand that we are in a very important decade, right? Where if we played our cards right, we can be major studios, we can be major creators, we can be major KOLs, especially we have a bit of an international view because the eye of the world is slowly looking to this part of the world, right? And more companies want to come into this space. And I already mentioned Indonesia is one of our top player markets right now. There is a reason for that because we are powerhouses. Asia understands games. Asia is the biggest consumer of games worldwide. More than 40% of the market is of the player market. This is Web 2 and Web 3 is from Asia. So, and there's going to be a lot of focus there. And Southeast Asia is the growth market, right? East Asia is the developed markets already. So to me, this region is very important for sustainability, and I'm really excited to be on that journey with you guys. So yeah, I think I've answered the questions. If there's any more,
Wow.
please hit me. I think we have like 5 minutes left.
Yeah, I think it has covered
Yeah,
mostly all the questions coming from the audience. I think next
we
time,
need to translate again.
maybe just a little bit, a short one, I
Yeah,
think. Okay, just a summary.
just to
Please
summarize.
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry, are you translating?
So
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
for this one, jadi teman-teman tadi udah disampaikan juga sama George, BTW thank you buat yang udah nanya. Jadi tadi ada pertanyaan beberapa terkait beta season ya. Iya, pastinya ke depannya akan ada beta season. Ini alpha season tuh masih kayak percobaan gitu ya, belum perfectly sempurna gitu ya, perfectly sempurna. Ya maksudnya masih ada season selanjutnya. Alpha season 4 ini bukan jadi season terakhir dan mereka masih bakal develop di tahun-tahun selanjutnya. Dan juga untuk player-player yang ada di SEA ataupun di negara-negara lain, of course kita udah punya banyak banget teman-teman streamers ya, nggak cuma dari SEA tapi dari negara lain juga. So yeah, don't worry about it karena kita percaya ya, khususnya di Indonesia ini banyak banget creator-creator yang main sandbox, terus juga player-playernya masih sustain buat main sandbox. Jadi saran kita sih ya kalian tetap main gamenya, terus juga jangan berhenti ya buat support sandbox karena mau bear market mau bull market ini sandbox jadi salah satu opportunity kalian loh guys buat earning money. Singkatnya sih kayak gitu ya. Jadi kita yakin lah nanti dari timnya George dan developer sandbox pasti akan ada inovasi-inovasi baru dan memang untuk building kan nggak mudah ya, it's not easy. Tapi kita percaya sandbox udah legit lah ya, udah di backingannya tuh udah cukup bagus dan ini jadi salah satu project yang bisa atau pantas buat masuk ke wishlist atau watchlist kalian. Jadi nggak cuma dilihat aja tapi dimainin gitu. Okay, I think that's all, George. Yeah, I think it's
I
all
think
your
I,
answers.
harusnya
Thank you
semua
so
udah
much.
ya. Yeah, thank you, George. I think that's all covering for all the question that you guys gonna answer. I think like Ray said, facts you said before, countries like in Indo and PA that are big target because of their community so into gamify things, which is
Yes.
why you say that yeah we have lots big community in our country. So you are
Mhm.
also really put on the feedback together, right? I think
Mm.
for most of all, we would like to say thanks to Sandbox, thanks to the V3GG team, and yeah, thanks to the community. Thank you for coming, Josh, for today, explaining for the lengthy uh, commentation. I think, yeah. Angel, do you have any comment?
Yeah, I think that's all. We believe that George has explained
Yeah,
everything, and that's enough for us. Yeah, for our Indonesian community, I think that's also answers all the question. And thank you very much, George, for taking and
thank
spending
you
your
for your time.
time to be here. And we also like to say thanks to our Indonesian, and then maybe some people are coming from Singapore, hi, Malaysia, Philippines,
Hi,
also Thailand, yeah, and other
to
Asian
you guys
country.
who here. And also, if we made any mistake, I would
Mhm.
like to apologize to you guys all, to George, myself.
No
I'm
problem,
sorry for
man.
if we are
Thank you
hosting
for
this
everything.
subject. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank
Thank you so
you.
much.
Thank
All right.
you. Have a nice day, everyone.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Southeast Asia.
everyone.
See you. Have a good night.
Yeah.
Selamat
Bye.
malam. Selamat malam.